Okay, here we are again at GreenFin24, and our guest now is Tina Morris. She is the CEO of Flint Pro. And Tina, tell us, you made a presentation earlier today here at the conference, right? What was that about?
Well, what we were doing today, Paul, for us was sharing a little bit about how Flint Pro can support across the client's climate journey. And what we mean about that is right now there's so much change going on in the space. Everybody's looking for how they get their company, their investments on track onto a net zero path. And what we try to do is understand, where are you in that client journey? Are you first trying to understand your baseline of where your assets are? Second, how do you want to report and disclose? And third, most importantly, how do you want to have impact and take interventions and actions to actually get change around your footprint in your land sector, and how you want to help the climate change for good?
Okay, so we're focusing, from what I hear you saying, on nature-based solutions to a great extent. I'm not opposed to technology, but in conjunction with technology, right, that we're seeing develop all over the place. Tell us about that. How are you digging deeply into the nature-based solution projects?
So our view, and what we've learned from years of being in the carbon accounting space, is that really understanding the mix of data to measure and models to sort of run actually what type of relevant outputs are you looking for to be able to measure impact across what you're trying to do with a nature solution is essential. So for us in Flint Pro, we are a technology solution that provides high quality data analytics that's underpinned by the science rigor. And that to me is the key. It's almost like a three-legged stool, is the science rigor that underpins what is the relevant set of data, whether it be field level, open source data, and then how do you run it through models that help you really, again, see the evidence over time for change and of change.
Okay, and so by open source data, what we mean what's generally available to the public. Do you also solicit data directly from your corporate clients and from do you work with NGOs as well? Tell us about that.
So great example. When you talk about nature, it is rather complex, and the amount of data that's available can be on the overwhelming side. So we like to break it down to, there's a great set of, as we said, public data that can be available through NGOs, Google Earth. There's a lot of open data that is very helpful and very relevant. Second is then more private data, so remote sensing data, that if you need higher resolution pictures to help you understand that nature footprint, those can be very relevant, and we work with partners around that. And then third is, yes, corporations, farmers, they might have field level on the ground data. So farmers are collecting certain data around their sort of agricultural footprint, and that would be your third leg of data. That combination of those three aspects usually come together, and our system and our technology can bring them together, again, then run them through the relevant models depending on what you're looking to measure specifically for the outputs you need for, again, whether you're disclosing to manage risk, or whether you're looking at scenarios to run to understand, well, if I do certain things differently on this land, what does that mean for the future and for my path? So yes, the data is essential to help measure and validate where you're headed with your net zero plans around your nature-based solutions.
Okay, so give us one example of a partner. You mentioned that you worked with partners to find out data and use it in your analytical process. Give us an example. No names necessary, just...
So I would say the remote sensing companies are a great example, first, of the technologies that are now available to help move the climate and nature-based solution world forward. So I would say remote sensing companies are a critical data partner for us as we, again, bring those into our SaaS-based system and run them through different models. So that would be my best example in terms of data partners, our remote sensing partners. And there's terrific groups out there that are bringing that data to the table.
Okay. Well, Tina, thank you very much for your time today here at GreenFin24. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and I'm so glad that you had a nice roundtable discussion earlier today.
Thanks, Paul. Enjoyed being here.